Facebook. Good morning. Good morning, everyone out there. If you're in the east, west, north, or south, and it's evening or it's afternoon, I say that to you as well. Thank you for tuning in to MBM Broadcast Network. Thank you for tuning in. It's a wonderful day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Ambassador Renee Johnson, and guess where I live? I live in the Bahamas, the place where God lives. Yesterday we celebrated my mentor, a loving man, family man, a man that left such an imprint on us. His birthday, even though he's gone, he will never be forgotten. My mentee, Dr. Miles Monroe, and I want to say salute to him in heaven. So yesterday we're still talking about seasons. We're still talking. Want to be reminded that seasons are a natural occurrence. Thank you for tuning in. I see we have somebody online. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, our topic is cycles. Cycles. And our subtitle is What State Are You In? And I'm not talking about whether you live in the US, state, wherever. I'm not talking about it. I'm asking you, what state are you in? Like I said, I always go back as a reference to the plant. The plant begins as a seed, and some plants germinate within themselves. As you know, they are self-produced, like the onion, the potato. You can put them back in the ground and they reproduce. And just like us, we reproduce, like I spoke in the last time we spoke, we reproduce after our own kind. So it's according to what we put in the soil. That's what happened. And when I ask you, what state are you in? Which state of mind are you in? What has you burdened? What is the cause for your concerns? I just want to remind you of something. There are some times when we are literally overthinking things. We are so consumed with being the author and the finisher of our faith, but we're not. We're not the author and finisher of our faith. And in Jeremiah 29 and 11, it says to us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Can you imagine that? So why are you worrying? Why are you fretting over things that you cannot control? When there is a master above who has said to you, "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord. Plans to prosper. If you hear that word, prosper you. Do you know what prosper means? It means everything your hand touches, everything you do will not fail. But even when there's failure, now let's get this right now. Even when you think there's failure, his plans for you is to prosper. It may appear as if it's failure, but it's not. Let me ask you a question. How many of you find yourself or found yourself making progress? You've moved forward. You've been making, you've make strides to get that goal or do whatever it is you wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, you start losing momentum. I look at my plants. I have some plants that I planted. I had some sugar apple. There's some small seeds. And I noticed as the sugar apple began to grow, it shed the seed and the seed dropped off and the plant continued to grow. Sometimes we feel like we're not moving. We wonder why we're shedding. We wonder why we're not making progress. And so we start to feel defeated or discouraged. I'm here to ask you, what state are you in? What state are you in? What are you doing that you can do better? Let me tell you what the word tells us about worry. Matthew 6:25 and 34 states, "Therefore, I tell you, do not worry. Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds. I mean, open your door. Look outside. I mean, in the mornings, these birds just greet me. Look at the birds. They don't have a care in the world. None. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns. And yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Can you imagine if he's taking care of birds, all the animals? What more will he do for you? Do you know how much more and what more he would do for you? He told you not to worry. So as we go through our stages in life, you remember, for those of us, I believe, and I don't think anybody out there listening has been cloned. So there are several stages we go through in our life cycle. We go through birth, that's when we just enter the earth. And then we mature, and during our maturity, we find ourselves having challenges. We celebrate some events, and then sometimes we have to mourn. And we are reminded about in Ecclesiastes about the seasons of life. And then you know what happens after that? Death. But for those of us who know the Master and is following his laws and his guidelines and who have aligned ourselves with his teachings, death is temporal. That's a temporary state of being. So I just want to encourage you to remember that he made you in his likeness and his image. I cannot bring that home enough. And there are stages in life. It's just like the plant. They, after a while, they too would begin as new. And they too would then have old age and maturity, and then they die out. It's like the banana plant. The banana plant, you find that once that banana has produced, it can produce as many hands and bundles of bananas as possible. But after a while, when it would have produced, it has another plant that would have generate from that particular plant. It's called a sucker. And that particular plant then dies out in order for that new plant to come to light. And that's why I'm asking you this morning, what state are you in? Being new in the word, having not been able to say that you've been or gave your life to Christ or kingdom citizen for maybe months, or you may have been in it for years. For me, I continue to think that I'm still new. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm growing. Every day I expect to find and to make myself or position myself so that I could know something about his word. Opportunity to bask in his word, knowing that the plans he has for me is for me to prosper. And another thing he says, I will never leave you or forsake you. So you may find yourself in a state of depression. Listen, that's a part of life. If every day you woke up and looked outside and saw the sun shining, you would complain, oh, it's too hot. Oh, when is it going to rain? My plants are dying. And then if you looked outside and it rained every day, you'll say, well, it's raining too much. Everything is dying. Again, we go back to that word dying. But I encourage you today that in getting wisdom, getting knowledge, we must apply it. And whatever we do, we must recognize that there is more than one way. There's only one way to the kingdom. Now, we may decide that we want to do other things. We may decide that I'm going to put religion on the side, or I'm going to put God on the side for but a moment. But I am telling you, for me, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So I will encourage you today, whatever state you find yourself in, whatever situation you find yourself in, be encouraged, knowing that your labor will not be in vain. Thank you for tuning in to Mamlaka Broadcast Network. It has indeed been a pleasure and a privilege to have you. I look forward to seeing you every week, and every week this program is on. This is your 10-minute morning plug-in. Good morning, and I'm Ambassador Renee Johnson, all the way from Nassau, Bahamas. Share this video. Share this video. Someone needs to hear this word this morning. Have a wonderful, blessed morning. God bless.